Hey, good day, good day, good day. It's Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. How's everybody doing? It's Friday. It's Lifestyle Focus Friday, and welcome back. Hey, today's episode, we're going to be talking about time. Time is your wealth and mastering a holiday schedules. It's the holiday season. So today is an episode that you're not going to want to miss, especially for those of you that, you don't want to get derailed during your holiday season. So it's important for you to have the most discipline of the wealthiest minded people in the world. And we're going to talk about that and how you can be different in this year, this season, right now. And you can start having intentional scheduling and time mastery that can transform your seasonal chaos into strategic clarity. So protecting both your prosperity and your peace of mind, and not to forget your wallet. All this is going to be on the inside of today's episode right here on Lifestyle Focus Wealth. I'll see you on the inside. Hey, good day, everyone. It's Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Hey, this is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? Thank you for joining us. Hey, we got a great episode coming up for you today, and we're going to be talking about time. Yes, time is definitely your wealth, and we want to be discussing how you can protect yourself during this holiday season. Because if you're like me, it gets chaotic during the holidays. You just got to start trying to get all your Christmas gifts and try to get everybody on your list checked off, and you spend all the money that you saved all year long, only to end up at the end of this month back at the beginning all over again. If you don't own your time, you don't own your future. So we're going to be discussing how your calendar is the biggest piece of the puzzle. It is the piece of your wealth plan in disguise. And you're going to want to know how to monetize that. You're going to want to know how to operate within that, because this is a simple truth that separates wealth builders from wealth dreamers. And we want to make you builders, and time to start walking in your dream. So every unguarded hour of the day is an invitation for you to do one thing: avoid distractions. So every unscheduled day is simple. If you really start to think about your day, every unscheduled day is a missed opportunity for compounding growth. So the holiday it magnifies things, right? This reality is very simple. Bringing family obligations to the table, social pressures to the table, and the end of the year urgencies to the table all at once. That's a solution that makes things just work a little bit harder. It makes it harder for you. So it's important for us to schedule smarter. Hey, I'm Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Thank you for joining us. This is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? And I want to say thank you before we get into it. Thank you guys for going ahead and hitting the comments, saying hello. I see my folks already joining us. Thank you guys for joining us again. I love you guys. And I'll be honest with you. It wouldn't be a show without you. And I want to go ahead and tell you this. Your fee for admission is very simple. Let's go ahead and just smash that button right there, that big red button that says subscribe, because we need people like you subscribing. We need the algorithm to know that you're there. We need you to let the world know that financial education and literacy is important. And you're getting it from us every Friday, every Friday at 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock. My inner circle's on Monday, but today is Friday. And my inner circle is always around on Friday. So you want to check in with us every Friday at 1 o'clock right here. And hopefully we're giving you all the information that you would need to make your week even more successful. So let's picture this. Do me a kind favor. Do me a kind favor. It's really simple. Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. Tell a family friend that you're joining us, and I really would appreciate it if you just take that moment right before we get started, because it is important to us and you are important to me. So do me a favor, hit the button. No more gatekeeping. We're going to move on and go forward, and we're going to tell people that we're doing the things that make other people successful. We're practicing the law of reciprocity over here. So think about it. If you want to do me another favor, if you're new to the show, all you have to do is put takeaways right there in the bottom and make a comment. So put it in the chat, make a comment, takeaway. We want to make sure you're a part of the program, and we want to build it up from there, because these are true discussionary topics. These are true topics that we're going to be talking about. So today, we're going to be talking about 5 pain points to solve in this season without focusing on too much more during this holiday season. I think when we get to the holiday season, we start thinking about, all of our loved ones and all the people that can be around. And, it is one of those things where, man, you think about the holidays, you got the trees up, you got the family coming in town, maybe you're traveling, and you really start to think about overcommitment traps. We're going to talk about that. Distractions and the distraction overloads. We're going to talk about that. The financial drift. How shopping can help you to drift way off of your financial plan. And then we're going to also talk about energy mismanagement. I think we really have to have a conversation about that, because the holidays about spending and all the good things, but we cannot ignore rest and recovery. You're gonna have to start taking care of yourself, because if you're not, you're leading towards burnout. And burnout is not a good thing. That's a poor decision, and we don't want to make those poor decisions. And number 5, we're going to talk about legacy neglect. Yes, legacy neglect is real. It's a real thing. And failing to schedule time with your family to have conversations about your legacy, about your values. These things are important. This is part of the wealth trap. If you're not having these discussions, you're in that trap. But this is the opportunity that you can start talking about wealth and future planning in your family that can boast you guys over the top and take you to the next generation, And these are habits that you can't unlearn once you learn them. You can't. It's one of those things that just can't go unseen, right? And we want to make sure you get it. So thank you guys for joining us inside the pit today. I see everybody. The numbers are going up already. Thank you guys for joining us. So let's jump right on into it. How many of you guys set a budget for the holiday season? Because the holiday season is the ultimate test of focus. Would you agree with me on that? It's the ultimate test of focus. In this episode right here at Lifestyle Focus Wealth today, we're going to be talking about how intentional scheduling can protect your wealth, your goals, and your legacy all at the same time. So you're going to want to watch this right now. You don't want to go away. You want to stick around to the end, because I'm going to tell you, these are tips that you're going to be able to take away. And at the end of this holiday season, you're probably going to walk away grateful that you listened to me, with a little money in your pocket, not just a gift under the Christmas tree. So don't let this holiday chaos season get you off your target, okay? We want not to be derailed from our wealth journey. So you got to stay here. Stay tuned in to me, Ronco Johnson, your Lifestyle Focus Wealth Coach, because time is wealth. And we're mastering the holiday scheduling season, because these are practical steps that you're going to need to do and going to need to focus on and be energized and aligned with as you move forward. And we just want to be a part of that. We just want to be a part of that. And yes, I said legacy twice. Yes, this is live. Oh, that's crazy. I see you guys in the comment. You're coming for me. Don't come for me. But here the deal is, we're real people here. Real people make mistakes. And guess what? We live with them. We're not worried about that. All we're trying to do is focus on making sure that you get where you want to go. And that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. So, what is new on the agenda for today? What is new on the agenda today? Well, we want to make sure that you're logging in and become part of our Lifestyle Focused Wealth team. Why? Because that matters. Why does that matter? Because you're in a world where people are thinking just like you. That's right. They're just like you. If you're around other wealth-minded people, you don't worry about the people who are naysayers. You don't worry about the people who are just dropping in with crazy things to say while you're live. You don't worry about them. Why? Because we're not going to be derailed from what we're saying. We're not going to be caught off guard by what is going on in the world and all that craziness. It's time to get focused. It's time to stay centered. It's time to stay balanced, prayed up, and all the good stuff, right? So if you want to unlock your future, you're going to stay locked in. You're going to stay locked in right here, because that's what our team is all about. We're all about making sure that we're bringing positive energy that you can take into the world and make an effective change with your legacy. Because legacies aren't bought, people. They're built. And it's only up to you to do it. And that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. So we're going to make sure we keep all the positive energy right here in front of us. So don't forget, at the end, go to the description notes below, and you can sign up for our bi-weekly email at the end of the podcast, at the end of the day's live, and check out those articles. When you get your email, you give me an email back and let me know that you've read them, because there's some engaging articles. We talk about art, we talk about travel, we talk about food, we talk about relationships, and guess what? It's absolutely free to you. All you have to do is become a member, and you can get on our list. It's really simple. Join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth team, and it is our community full of people who think like you. They're already taking advantage of what other members like you are doing. What we're doing? We're talking about what wealthy people do, what millionaires and billionaires do. We're talking about leveraging time and making money. And we're also talking about seeing wealth as the end goal and cash as a tool to get there. That's it. It's just cash as a tool to get there. Hey, once again, for you guys that are just jumping in, I'm Ronco Johnson, your Lifestyle Focused Wealth Coach. So we're going to go ahead and dive on in. And for those of you who watching us for the first time, thank you for showing up. Thank you. I love it. Thank you for showing up. I hope you enjoy our show. I hope you enjoy our show. So let's talk about this for just a second. Your calendar, we're going to go back to calendars. Your calendar is your wealth plan in disguise. We need to be having this discussion, right? Because if this is our wealth plan in disguise, y'all, this is going to separate you from everyone else. It really does. And when we're talking about the wealth plan in disguise, we're talking about, listen, you need to really be focused. If you got your podcast or you got your calendars out, you want to go ahead and you want to put those things together. Really, because the solution isn't avoiding it, it's lean into it. We got to have a better idea of where we're going simply by putting it on our calendar. One of the biggest things I can tell you, one of the biggest time wasters of my life has been doing things that I really didn't want to do. And when you do things that you really don't want to do, you're spending time that could be better suited doing something else. And wealth-minded people only spend time doing the things that are beneficial and profitable to them. They really do. They really do. When you think about it, Buying back time is very important if you're a wealth-minded person. Here's why. Buying back time means, let me share a story with you. There was a gentleman cutting some trees down in my neighborhood just this week. And I was thinking to myself, boy, I really got a tree that I really wanted to cut down. And these two trees have fallen right beside my house and between my neighbor and my house. And the thing is, I just didn't have time to go out there and cut the tree. It's not a huge tree, but I could have probably gone out there and cut it. But I saw someone else cutting it. So what do? You buy back time. Hey, ask the gentleman, hey, what would it take for you to cut that tree down? He told me his price. I gave it to him. Next thing you know, he's cutting the tree down. While I was on the phone making a transaction, I was on the phone handling some business that led to even more than what it cost to cut the tree. My bottom line is you're buying back time. Now, what you're doing with that time, that's totally up to you. I'm not telling you to spend your time and not get nothing in return. So think about our holiday season. A lot of us are spending a lot of time shopping. But I need you to think about it for a second. The things that you're purchasing, are they benefiting you? Are they making you a dividend? Are they making you money? Or are they just gifts that you're giving away? These are 5 points that I'm talking about that could possibly sabotage your wealth and health during the holiday season, because these 5 elements right here, I'm telling you now, when we're talking about overcommitment traps, when we're talking about distraction overload, when we're talking about financial drifts, when we're talking about energy engagement or legacy neglect, these things are so important. Y'all, we don't want to forget these. These are real things that happen. So when you got the overcommitment trap, we're saying yes to every invitation, every request, and every quick favor that's out there. You can't do it. It's just possible. You just can't do it. Why? Because you just can't be in 30 places at the same time. It's not possible to do that. So until your schedule totally collapses under your own weight, you don't want to overcommit. Maybe you got too many Christmas parties. You can't be all. Maybe you got 40 different nephews and nieces and you can't be at all places at one time. So by putting on your schedule how you're going to manage your time this holiday season, who you're shopping for, who you're having dinner with, how you're going to spend your plans, all those things are important to talk about, because these are the 5 traps that I'm talking about that really will drain your time, drain your energy, and your money. And that keeps high performers like you in the hole every holiday season. So you got to recognize these first steps so you can reclaim control. This conversation today is about reclaiming control. Put down reclaim control in the comments if you agree with what I'm saying. If you're feeling what I'm saying, put down reclaim control in the comments. All right? Because that's important. Distraction overload is real, folks. I'm going to tell you, because even when I'm starting the podcast, the first thing that happens is the doorbell rings or telephone rings. You get constant interruptions from holiday salespeople, from social media, and, as long as it's not urgent or the house is not burning down or someone's not in critical care, these demands can, fragment your focus. It really can. And destroy your deep work, the stuff that you've been doing over the last 11 months. So we don't want to destroy that. We want to focus on making sure that these elements stay in alignment. And you don't have the financial drift that we're talking about. Because without clear boundaries, holiday spending goes nuts. It can spiral on you in a minute. So the impulse purchases, if you're one of those people that has a pocket full of money, you just go in the store and you don't know what you're getting for anybody, if it ain't on that list, don't pick it up. Matter of fact, just don't pick it up. If you happen to do some shopping, it's probably good to have your list, and then not even go in the store. Go online and find something and keep it going. But then again, there's so many options online that can be even worse than going to the store. So impulse purchases and seasonal exceptions, that typically erodes your wealth building momentum. And how so? What I mean by that? Think about how you feel at the beginning of the year in January when you get your statement for everything you spent November and December. How do you feel? Take a moment, put that down in the column. How do you feel? How do you feel? Do you feel energetic in January, or do you feel drained in January? When you see your credit card with a negative $10,000 balance and you got to start from negative 10 to get back to zero, only to spend another negative 10. Am I making sense to you folks today? See, here at Lifestyle Focus Wealth, we're really all about trying to keep it 100. It's 100% that we're trying to keep it there today, because energy mismanagement, late nights, sugar cravings and crashes, travel fatigue. Here's the deal. Your most valuable resource is not money. It's energy. And you have to have superior scheduling skills, because poor scheduling depletes all of those things quickly. That's important to understand. Legacy neglect is also real, because that's when the holiday offers you rare moments to teach these wealth principles. Meaning, when you're around young people in your family, when you're around the nieces and nephews in your family, when you're giving them gifts, you can also educate them about how and why and what and when. Because the next step is to talk about the next generation. Most people miss this entirely. And that's what I call being caught in the chaos. If you're caught in the chaos, things get out of whack quick. And I call that having a lights out moment, right? We call that having a lights out moment. So we want to make sure that you're overcoming these traps. We want to make sure you're overcoming these traps. We want to make sure that you're overcoming these traps, because the commitment traps of everything we're talking about is real. And the overcommitment traps, when you say yes, it can cost you your wealth. It really can. Because the hidden cost in that is very simple. It's when we think about it, every marginal commitment that we make, it displaces a very high value activity that we're doing. Because like that holiday mixer that you would go to, give you an example. It may seem harmless, but it's 3 hours long. You could have spent time reviewing your portfolio, or planning your Q1 strategy, or closing a deal. Overcommitment isn't generosity. It can be known as wealth sabotage. And there's a solution for that. See, I want to simplify that with a very simple filter. Here's the thing. Does the activity compound your wealth? Take a look at it again. Does the activity compound your wealth, your relationships, or your well-being? It's really simple to do. If the answer to that is no, decline that with grace. Decline it. Your future will thank you for it. They will be okay if you're not there. You'll have time to catch up with them at another time. How many of you feel that? If you feel that, give me a thumbs up in the comments, down in the chats. If you're having problems with that, if you've been thinking about that, you know you've been invited somewhere, you just don't really know how you're going to go. I just gave you a way out. Because our next one that I talked about earlier, and here's number 2, the distraction overload. It's the silent wealth killer. And we already know that. We know that. We know that. Because you got to think, the average professional checks their phone 96 times a day. And during the holiday, that number spikes straight up. It really does. It spikes straight up. And when it spikes straight up, what do you think is happening here? You're being distracted. Because between promotional emails, social media, notifications, those urgent messages, your attention becomes the battleground. So why does this matter to your wealth? I'm going to go ahead and share the little secret with you. When it comes to your wealth, deep, focused work generates an outcome that's outsized your returns. When you're really, really focused on the work that you're doing, make sure the work that you're doing generates outsized returns. It's pretty simple in concept, not easy to do all the time. In other words, if I'm going to spend time with you and come out of here feeling miserable, that's probably not a good return for me. But if I hang out with you and I feel amazing and I met some incredible people and my mind is stimulated and I'm growing, I've probably got a return that outsized the amount of time that I spent. There's a Cal Newport's research that shows that by eliminating distractions, you can double your productive output. So we want to make sure that you think about what that means when you're limiting your distractions. But let me share with you another inverse relationship that's true. Constant interruptions can cut your effectiveness in half. So think about it. If I'm rolling on 100, if we're moving at 100 and I get distracted, I'm going to return to only 50% of my effort. It just cut it in half. My effectiveness has been cut in half because I allowed myself to be interrupted. So think about this. During the holiday seasons, your distractions isn't just about phones. It's not. It's the colleague who just needs 5 minutes of your time. It's the last minute shopping trip to who knows what and how long is going to be gone. It's the guilt-driven favor that you do for a family friend or an associate. Each disruption that you have, it has a switching cost. And the time it takes to refocus after being interrupted, these costs compound quickly too. So you got to just stop and try to hear what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying, bah humbug, don't be around your family and friends. That is not what I'm alluding to. What I am talking about is having a focused formula, a single task that beats multitasking, right? 1 hour of undistracted work that produces more value than 3 hours of fragmented efforts. So if I can sit down earlier, maybe you just got to get up earlier. For me, it works out to get up earlier. Maybe you get up at 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and you work till 9. Why? Because it's uninterrupted. The world is still asleep. While the world is still asleep, I can get that uninterrupted time with no distractions. I can produce more in that 3 hours than I can do in 8 interrupted hours. Are you understanding? Is that a good one? Is that a nugget for you that you can have? Because we want to make sure that we're giving it, we want to make sure we're sharing. We want to make sure we're sharing these nuggets with you. And and we want to make sure that you have them. Why? Because we don't want you to be distracted. You've worked all year long on becoming this legacy architect. And like I said, legacies aren't bought. You can't buy them. They're built. They're built with intention. So it's important that we all focus. The time right now is to stay focused, my friends. Stay focused, my friends. Why? Because a lot of people are really struggling with this. They feel guilted into the financial drift. Because during the regular season of a holiday, you'll see that most people spend almost $2,000 and they overspend in the holiday season. 23% post-holiday regrets. And the well-planned delay, it delays your plans by 6 months. What am I saying? If you knew what I knew behind closed doors, and you were trying to prevent your best friend from drifting off their financial goals so you guys could take your well-earned retreat in the springtime because you did what you're supposed to do. You built your money up in some after-tax places. You're leveraging cash value. You've got your will. You got your trust. You got your kids taken care of. You did all these things. Saving time also gives you time to create memories, create moments. And these are the things that create wealth. Wealth are the things you can't take away from you. Because if I had a best friend of mine and I knew that the average person was spending $1,000 to $2,000 over their budget for the year, like most Americans exceed their holiday budget, creating a January debt that we got to get out of. If I knew that 23% of post-holiday ends in regret, that nearly a quarter of all the consumers out there regret the holiday season purchase within weeks. If I knew that it was 6 months of wealth planning that's going to be delayed, that means that it takes time away from the average person to recover financially from the holiday overspending. If I knew these things, and I knew that the financial drift happens gradually, and then all of a sudden it's there. The first thing I want to talk about is a few untracked purchases here. A generous gift there. And before you know it, wealth building momentum has stopped. It's come to a halt. So the holidays does amplify every money mistake. The emotional spending, the social pressure, and the fact that you want to treat yourself, justification to converge in a perfect storm. Oh my God, all this stuff is happening to you all at one time. The antidote isn't deprivation. It's intentional allocation. You need to be intentional. Set your budget. When you schedule your holiday budget the same way you schedule your meetings, it becomes very clear to the limits. It becomes a non-negotiable when it comes to spending. It becomes a wealth-building tool rather than a wealth-destroying habit. And these are the things that we need to talk about during the holiday season. We need to get prepared. Mentally, you got to be prepared. Because I'm telling you, you're going to thank me at the end of your holiday season. You're going to thank me. If I'm making sense to you, please put it in the comments. Please put it in the comments. Because listen, the algorithm needs you. Give us a thumbs up. Share with a friend. Tell someone, hey, listen, I listen to Ronco Johnson. You might want to listen to this. If you got young people in your family, send them a copy of our video today. Send it to them. Why? Because now you're empowering them to know that they don't have to overspend. Make sure somebody that you love and care about knows about the energy mismanagement that happens. This is your most valuable asset. And we need to be talking about these things. As a financial expert, I know I'm having these conversations continuously. And one of the biggest misalignment features that we talk about is, hey, I like to say it this way. The energy equation of money. Money is renewable. Time is infinite. But energy, not so much. See, energy is the multiplier that determines how effectively you convert time into wealth. See, when we really think about it like that, a well-rested, energized person who works an hour produces more than the person that doesn't have the same level of energy or that has been distracted. Again, if I'm at 100 when I wake up, if I can work for 1 hour without interruptions, I am much more effective than the person that was interrupted 2 and 3 times a day at the water cooler. So during the holiday season, energy management becomes crucial. It becomes a very critical part of what we need to be talking about. Because late night parties, travels against time zones, and I know I like to do that too. It's sports season, it's bowl season. You want to travel here, you want to travel there. And if you're eating poorly, you get the sugar issues with your meals. You get disrupted routines from going to the gym. All of that, it drains you. So most people try to power through it, and they wonder why their productivity collapses in January. They wonder why they can't hold the commitment to go to the gym in January. They start for 3 days and they're done. Why? Because the energy's zapped. Simple. Simple. Your energy's zapped. If you've ever experienced this, put that in the chat. If I'm talking to you, put it in the chat. Because I want to make sure that I'm not the only one out here just talking about this. I know there's going to be somebody out here that's going to say, no, that's not me. That's not me. Well, I'm going to give you the recovery protocol for that. Are you ready? Are you ready for the recovery protocol? It's really simple. There's 4 steps. Sleep. That's a non-negotiable. You need 7 to 8 hours of consistent sleep. And you need to put that on a consistent schedule. You got to get that 8 hours in. Number 2, movement daily. Even 20 minutes, that's fine. As long as you have movement, it maintains mental clarity. And if you can do it early in the morning before you begin, it's amazing how much work you get done. Make sure your nutrition boundaries are on your schedule. Enjoy treats. I'm not telling you now have a piece of cake or a piece of this or a piece of that, but do it without derailing your baseline. Don't go nuts just because it's in front of you. You don't have to. And number 4, strategic no's. Decline energy draining commitments. If it's energy draining to you, that's all that matters. You got to know who you are. And as more that you walk in that, you're going to be okay. Just decline it. Because high performers schedule energy recovery the same way they schedule their meetings with their clients. It's not optional. It's strategic. Okay? I'm giving you guys the fruit. I hope you can take it. Because if you haven't experienced it, you can learn it from Uncle Ronco right now. Super Ronco, super agent, super advisor, super lifestyle focused wealth coach. I am protecting your wealth. I'm coming in with my cape to help protect you in this holiday season, right? Because this stuff really matters. It really matters. And we just want our lifestyle focused wealth community to do better. Because once we know, when you learn and you know, you got to do better. And once we know better, we have no excuse not to do what? Do better. So we want to make sure you absolutely know to do better, because we don't want any excuses. So when we come back, we're going to talk to you about legacy neglect. And we're going to end this thing out really well, because you don't want to miss these last few. I'll see you on the other side. Hey, join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. Membership starting at $16 a month when you pay the annual subscription. So register online today at www.lifestylefocusedwealth.com. Good day, good day, good day. It's Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Today we're talking about, protecting yourself, protecting your time, because time is your wealth. And we're talking about specifically mastering holiday scheduling, how it can protect your wealth. So where do we leave off? We left off with legacy neglect. See, this is the season of missed opportunities for the holidays. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Because when we start talking about start wealth conversations with your family, I had a caller that gave me a call today. Just yesterday. Matter of fact, I said today, but yesterday. And we were talking about the conversations with the family about a family trust and how that went over the holidays. And he mentioned to me that it was a complete disaster. It was a complete disaster because the family wouldn't have a conversation and couldn't have a positive conversation about some heir property that was going to make all the cousins have to come to conversations that were uncomfortable. So listen, it's easier to do things and have these conversations while you're alive. Start wealth conversations as part of your holiday routine. The holiday brings generations together. It's got the little ones, got the teenagers, you got your young adults, you got your elderly, and then you got the root and the core of the family all together. Use this time to discuss money and the values of money, not just the money amount, but you really want to take time to share your journey. There's going to be somebody in that family that can learn a lesson from you, and be sure you put your why in that lesson, because it's not enough to say you make a cake and you put your finger in it. You might find out that someone put their finger in it by accident and burned themselves. Now you're putting your finger in a pie just because someone burned themselves years and years ago. You don't want to find out that you're doing something unnecessary. Find out the why. Find out the why. Find out an uncle's journey. Find out an auntie's journey. Maybe go back to your grandparents and talk to them about their journey, especially in today's world, because a lot of things are trying to go back to the way they once were. And you might need some perspective so you can see it coming. You might want to also model financial discipline. See, your family watches how you spend, how you save, and how you prioritize. You might not realize it, but you might be the example of the entire family. So your actions teach more than your words ever will. So make sure you show up for yourself and show them what intentional wealth building looks like. If you could be the person that everyone's modeling, you're only setting yourself up and your family up for not failure, but for success. And then also give yourself some grace. Think about this for the holiday season. If you're going to give something, give an asset, not just gifts. Consider gifts that compound. Maybe you give them some stock. Maybe you buy them a life insurance policy with some cash value in it. Maybe you give them a book. Maybe you create an experience that builds on their skills like AI. Maybe you start to shift the consumption idea to contributions instead of stuff of substance that people they don't do nothing with it. They play with it for 2 or 3 days and it's discarded. Get them something they can use, the gift that keeps on giving, because most people spend the holidays creating memories. Wealth builders create legacies. It's different, but the difference is intention. And it starts with how you view your time. Are y'all getting this? Because I really want to make sure that we understand really why time is important. I could be sitting there kumbaya and talking about things that really don't matter. Or I could be taking the same exact time, sitting in the living room, watching the kids play and talking about things that might spark their idea to have stronger scheduling techniques, to have stronger management techniques. I'm going to see a family tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., to go over a management schedule for the rest of the holiday season to push them into the new year. You know, and I take pride on that. Why? Because I know that family is being intentional for the kids, the grandkids, and everybody in the family. They're taking time to have a conversation about budgeting. They're talking about managing their money as a family. And they're inviting me to come in and talk to them. Why wouldn't I want to do that? That's perfect for me. That's why I'm here. That's what we're doing on this podcast, because we want to make sure our community gets the example. If they've never heard it before, let us be the first to let you hear it. Because if you're part of our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community, we need you to be the example. We need you to be different. And there's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with being different, especially when your knowledge is at a high and you know it. You don't believe it, you know it. There's a difference. Knowing and believing are two different things. So your holiday wealth action plan, do you have it? Because this is what we need to be talking about. This is what we need to be going over. Because if you're not having an action plan, listen, sweets only last for a moment. But a plan carried out well, it lasts forever. So your knowledge without action isn't just expensive entertainment. Oh man, just be careful. Be careful, because I'm about to give you your watch list that you need to be watching for. Here's 5 high-level leveraging practices that can transform your holiday chaos into a wealth-building momentum. And I'm telling you this, if you implement even 3 of these, you're going to enter January ahead of 90% of the people out there and some professionals. Number 1, block wealth hours out for yourself. Because before the holiday madness begins, schedule a non-negotiable block of time for your portfolio review. Maybe it's on Monday. Maybe it's on Friday before you start spending. But review your portfolio, your business planning, and your strategic thinking. Just sit down for an hour and have this thought, have this conversation with yourself. Treat these like you would a client meeting. They're unmovable and they're sacred. You need to have the time with yourself. If you could aim for at least 3 90-minute blocks per week, I'm telling you, the block of wealth hours would be game changers. You need to have that with you. Number 2, holiday budget check. See, here's where you set your total holiday spending limit and set it right now. How much you're going to spend for each person. And then you're going to allocate it across the categories. Is it going to be gifts? Is it going to be travel? Is it entertainment? Is it charity? Every dollar you need to track. And this single practice prevents January debt. And I'm telling you, it'll keep your wealth plan on track. I'm telling you, it really will. And you're going to thank me come January. When everybody is trying to figure out why you're upside down, you're not going to have that problem. You're going to pick up right where you left off. Number 3 is focus on rituals. It's time for you to design a morning ritual, a routine that protects your energy at its peak. As I said earlier, I'd rather do mine early in the day. So before checking emails, don't start your day with the emails. Before checking emails and messages, spend about 60 minutes to 90 minutes of your time. That is your highest value work. You need to put your highest value work already set aside the night before. So when you wake up, that first 60 to 90 minutes, that's what you're going to attack. And let distractions wait. If the doorbell rings, if the phone rings, let it wait until afternoon when your cognitive resources are already depleted. You don't need to give those the best. Give that when your energy is lower. Give your best to the highest value stuff that you got to do in the day. Okay? Number 4, wealth conversations with the family. I like to call it family wealth conversation moments. Go ahead and schedule it. Schedule at least one intentional conversation about money values with your family. Don't make it a lecture. This is not a lecture. This isn't telling little Tommy, you got to pay some bills around here, you got to get out. This is a conversation. So ask questions, share stories, plant some seeds into your story. These seeds will grow into generational wealth literacy. I'm telling you, they will. And number 5, energy audit. Energy audit. This is number 5. You heard it from me, Ronco Johnson. You got to track what activities energizes you versus what drains you. Double down on the energy levels being high and minimize the drainers. Your energy is your wealth building fuel audit. Did you hear what I just said? It is your wealth building fuel audit. You got to make sure you have it. And you got to protect it. Because this is the audit that audits your expenses. It's just as rigorous as that. If you can protect your energy, you'll have more to spend in the right time, in the right moment, with the right people. Right? And I know we're coming down to the end today. If this is helping you, give me a thumbs up down below. If this stuff that we're talking about today is helping you, be sure you contact us. If you want to talk to me personally, if you want to schedule one of these audits for yourself, hey, go online and take a look. Go to roncojohnson.com or just send me an email at info@roncojohnson. We'd love to talk to you. Or just come by and just become part of our community. And you'll see me bouncing around all over the place, right? It's simple. It's really simple. It's so simple it hurts. People say, hey, Ronco, you don't have a lot of time to look. That's because I'm spending time with people that got high energy. Literally. Time is wealth. What's your next move? Let's talk about your next move. What is your next move? When the lights go out, are you ready? See, the holiday season, you got to make sure that the holiday season don't have that moment where you just use up all your wealth. See, with intentional scheduling, they can accelerate your wealth. If you could take that time, this season, it's all about you making choices because you have a choice to be made. You can let the calendar control you or reacting to demands, scrambling through chaos, or entering January depleted. That might just be on your list of to-dos. Or you could just sit back, relax, and unwind Join our community and become a master of your schedule, protecting your priorities, and build wealth while others build debt. These are the five pain points that are so real that if you follow it, these 5 action plans that we've talked about today, these steps are proven. What matters the most now that we've talked about it is your implementation. I can't speak today for some reason. Your calendar is what I'm talking about, because your calendar is your wealth plan in disguise. Own your time and you own your future. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to dive deeper? I hope so, because if you are, do me a favor, subscribe to our Lifestyle Focused Wealth podcast and join our weekly strategies on building wealth without sacrificing your life. And you can live the life that you really want to live. And your future, so your future is really waiting on it. It's really waiting on it. Because what good is it to have nothing to look forward to? You might as well get started now and planning on what your future is going to look like, because it's your future. It's no one else's. And I promise you, no one's going to help you pay for your future either. You're going to have to build it with intention. Hey, listen, if you got a comment, put takeaways in the comments real quick. We got a few more seconds that I can say hello to everybody. I see y'all really, really going at it. We wanted to get through it today. And I see what you're talking about. I see all the messages and all the love. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today, because I want to make sure that you guys out there have a wonderful holiday season. I want you to have a holiday season that rivals no other. I want you to be able to sit here and say, hey, listen, I'm so glad I listened. I'm so glad that I listened. I just want you to have that opportunity to sit back and think about that, right? Because if you do that, I think everything works itself out. And once it works itself out, you have a great holiday season and you're creating moments. You focused on creating those moments. Thank you all for making these comments right now. I really appreciate it. Is there any questions? I want to hear from our group out there. Is there any questions about what we're talking about? If there is, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Tell a family member, tell a friend. Don't forget, hit our comments down below, y'all. We need your help. Make the algorithm say hello. And thank you guys so much for joining us and liking all the stuff that we're doing. And if this is resonating with you, your family members, I think our financial prosperity is important. I think we have to be more intentional on focusing on the things that really matter in this time. Because this is the moment, this right now, this is the moment that's going to be the transitional house for how you, your family, and your legacy are going to continue to build. And in 2027 and 2028 and 2029, your decisions from 2025 are going to come and going to grow up. Those seeds that you plant right now, they're going to grow into trees. And I hope they're rooted strongly in principles, integrity, and wealth building. And they compound with strength. The root of the whole deal is your planning. As long as you're planning, as long as you're doing the plan, you can't fail. You can't fail. You got to be intentional, okay? And that's what I'm thinking of right now. I'm thinking about all the folks that are intentionally going shopping, but are you intentionally thinking about your legacy? If you haven't thought about it, hopefully I put it on your mind. Hopefully I put it on your mind today so that you're now thinking about things that, hey, if I got to spend the time, I'd rather spend the time with something that's going to produce something for me, my family, and my legacy as we move forward. And don't spend time wasting energy and wasting time with those folks. Find someone that is going to stabilize and energize you in a way that magnifies your spirit, your business, your finances, your wealth, and your legacy. Hey, that's my time this week. I'm Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. I just want to say thank you for coming in and joining our community, even if it was just for a nice little 45 minutes to an hour. And I really appreciate all of what you do. Continue to go out and give goodwill to the rest of the world, because guess what? The law of reciprocity says this very simply. You must desire your neighbor to do well in order for you to do well. That's my time. I'll see you next week right here, Friday, 1 o'clock, on When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? See you next time. Peace.